Hey, so I thought I would do something a little different with this video. I love studio tours, and I made a video about my studio back in 2018, maybe 2019. Obviously, it's the end of 2024 now, and things have really changed here in the building. So, yeah, I thought I would do kind of just a walkthrough of what my place is like, and I love seeing studio tours. So yeah, here we go. Let's just walk through things. So first thing to know is this building is in my backyard. It is 20 feet long and 14 feet wide. As you can see, it's in my backyard. There's a trampoline for my kids, and I built a lot of it myself, mostly with the help of my friends. So I would say I had my hands dirty on 60 to 70% of this building. The only things I didn't do were pour the foundation and put the roof on. But otherwise, yeah, I didn't do mud and tape either for the drywall. But that's enough about that. So I guess first things first, my music collection is actually up here above the door, the entryway to the studio. So that's most of my CDs and music related DVDs. I do have some books and vinyl and stuff like that down here, and there's more over in the corner over there, which I'll show in a little bit. If you're here because you like music and you're a musician, I'll show my little guitar collection here. So I have a nice little wall of guitars. This is a really interesting guitar. It's called a Babix Octane. The Babix Octane. My friend Jim Reisky actually built this guitar, and from what I know, it was owned by John Goodsall from Brand X, which is kind of cool. I know he played this guitar, and I think Jim said that Yngwie Malmsteen might have had it for a little bit too, which is interesting. Some of you know I used to work for Steve Vai. This is a signature Steve Vai guitar with one of his actual guitar necks on it from when I worked for him. This is a Carvin Bunny Brunel bass, 5-string. I love this bass. I play it all the time. I'll walk around my camera gear here. And then I've got my first electric guitar, which is my Ibanez RG 565. It's from maybe 1993. Great guitar. I keep it in Fripp's new standard tuning. CGD AE. Wait, CGD AEG. Yeah, low to high. And then this is the Les Paul I played for the Fracture video. This it's really a nice Les Paul, just a standard. It's a Les Paul Classic. This is my acoustic guitar. It's an Alvarez Yairi. I think it's a DY40. That's the model number. I love this instrument. It served me so well. It's such a versatile acoustic guitar. Really love it. Here's my Ibanez 9-string guitar. I made a video about this guitar because it's so ridiculous. My neighbor across the street, she painted this guitar. I bought it to play some classical music for extended range. I actually saw the original Ibanez RG9 at NAMM, and I said, what kind of idiot would buy that guitar? And literally like 3 or 4 years later, I was like, oh man, to play this, I would need like an 8 or a 9-string. And then I was the idiot who bought the guitar. This is Ibanez S3040PL. This is a J Custom guitar, owned by my friend James, and it's on long-term loan. I think I've had this guitar of his for 15, 18, maybe 20 years. He and I both had this guitar, but his had this, I don't know, less fancy neck. The one that I had inlay going all the way up, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I sold mine and kept his. And then this is a Telecaster, sort of like a cheap Chinese Telecaster that my friend Ken Kaufman gave me. He owns Lost Dutchman Guitars in Apache Junction, Arizona. and he put in this Roland MIDI pickup for a MIDI guitar synthesizer system, which is very cool. This is a signature guitar built by a guy named Rob Fick, and it's a 7-string. I helped design this guitar. It's fun to play. I just haven't played it in a while. I do have the front pickup cover over on my desk. Maybe someday I'll actually replace it. And this is really just a cheap $50 mandolin that I use just when I need to. Down here is an old Macintosh SE with the original. This is the first MIDI interface, I believe, for computers. Maybe just on the Mac. It's by Opcode Systems. I actually used to write music as a child using this. My dad borrowed a Kurzweil sound module from his keyboard player from his band, and yeah, we had a Mac. I think we had an SE, and I used to write music on it using an app called Deluxe Music Construction Set. So as a kid, I was really into music, and that's a little token of the memory. This is a Korg digital piano. I don't know the model number. My friend Ken Kaufman from Lost Dutchman Guitars gave that to me as well. Then we'll move over to the bookshelf area. These are KRK Rocket 6s. I always wanted the 8s, but I couldn't afford them. So I bought the 6s, and now I use them for, I have this projector screen up here, and sometimes I'll watch movies or something like that, and they're really great. I also use them to listen to vinyl. So here's my record player. It's nothing fancy. It was like a USB, maybe it was 110, 130 bucks, maybe something like that. Recommended to me by a friend who's a big vinyl nut, and he said this one's really good as just a basic one. So I'd like to get a nicer vinyl player, record player, but that'll be another thing for another time. I just got this in the mail, Brandon Seabrook's vinyl album from Seabrook Power Plant 2, which is one of the most incredible and crazy albums I've ever heard. So I'm looking forward to firing that up on the player, and a couple of his CDs. Should be cool to listen to. I have written 4 books myself, and so I've done a ton of reading, but I'm not like a super organized person. So the studio here is pretty cleaned up. I just spent some time vacuuming and, I don't know, putting things in order, but like my books are not in any sort of alphabetical or anything. Same with my CDs over there above the door. Not alphabetical, not chronological, just kind of like a pile of stuff, and I just shove CDs on the shelf. But here I've got like USB cables, XLR cables. I've got all my guitar strings and guitar gear in here. Here's my Quad Cortex with all my cables and stuff like that. These are all like AV cables and power cables and blah, blah, blah. If you are a fan of The Prisoner, it's an old 1968 TV show. I have this 50th edition box set, which is super cool. And then right here, I'm just mentioning it because they're here. This was given to me by, actually, I think I won it or something, or maybe I got it at an auction. This is the book Knots. It's a book of poetry that inspired the song Knots by Gentle Giant. What album is that on? Is it Freehand? I don't remember. But yeah, this is the book. And I don't know if I had this signed or what, but I believe Carrie Manier gave it to me, or I bought it. I don't remember. But yeah, I've got that here, and the King Crimson bio book by Sid Smith. And let's see, I like Nassim Taleb. I like a lot of philosophical books, and I've got like Tony Levin's photography books here, some technical stuff. I work in the software industry, so there's some software books here. Also have these Guitarcraft aphorism cards, which are really cool. If you don't have a set, I recommend you get one. if you're looking for some inspiration on new ways of thinking and approaching the guitar and playing. Let's see, anything else interesting over here? I have my, actually something here. This is a piece called Der Zauberlehrling, yeah, by Georgi Ligeti. I planned a 9-string guitar arrangement of this crazy player piano piece arranged by Conlon Nancaro. I just never was able to play it, so this was my like sheet for learning it. So I would put it on a music stand or just sit on a couch or something like that. I have 2 sheets, double-sided, and the music is really small, so I could just kind of take it with me like in the living room and just be able to play through it. It's a lot of rote memorization. I have some camera gear here. I keep my lenses and other stuff here on this shelf. This is my old computer. I've had it since 2017, and it did all the video editing for Make Weird Music for many years. And then I have my Tape Op magazine collection here. I just let my Tape Op subscription lapse. Kind of regret it, but I realized I stopped reading them. They were just sitting here on a shelf, and I just need to stop doing that. I've got a whole bunch of other, I don't know, music books and other interesting stuff here. Right here is my drum kit, which I had this branded Make Weird Music kick drum head put on. This is I think a late 1960s Sonar kit, and it was given to me by my friend Greg, and he just really wanted me to have it, and I feel almost guilty about keeping it, but Greg Naylor, thank you so much for this donation. And I do play the drums quite a bit. I just don't share it on the channel at all. I'm not good enough to do anything interesting on the channel, but I play at church and I play bass and drums a couple times a month, 3 or 4 times a month sometimes. This is a poster of the Failure to Fracture book. This was like shortly after my friend Dave Woodruff designed it, and I was like, oh man, I need a poster of that. So he printed a nice poster-sized version of the cover. Over here, I keep a sparkling waters in my little mini fridge here. I do like sparkling water. But most importantly is, to me, this is a copy of the Declaration of Independence that I got at Faneuil Hall in Boston from a Gutenberg printer. And for me, the Declaration of Independence just has a real symbolic, inspirational feeling for me, because this Make Weird Music Studio is like my act of independence. You know, it's my way of establishing, I don't know, the kind of life that I want to live. So it's my declaration of musical and creative independence. And then in here, I've got some copies of my books. This is my 3rd book, the Failure to Fracture book, the King Crimson transcriptions. There's still copies of the Green Asphalt vinyl here. You can buy these on makeweirdmusic.com. These are the final copies that I have in the US. A lot of my transcription books over here. I've got a audio interface here, the Audient ID44, I believe, is the model. All my camera gear is here. I have a ton of camera gear. And yeah, just some boxes and stuff. And then over here, we'll move on to the computer. The computing station. This is where all that stuff happens. How can I make this less bright? Okay, maybe that's working. Okay, so I just upgraded my computer. Since 2017, I've used the same iMac, that one back here. And before that, I used one computer from 2008, a Mac Pro that I like modded like crazy. External power supplies and all that stuff, custom graphics cards, just so I could do video editing and stuff like that for Make Weird Music. And that became unsustainable, so I got that iMac, which was great, but then the iMac is just not holding up. So I got, just recently, let's see, maybe this will work. I got this Studio, which is the M2 Max. It's almost fully loaded. I didn't get the Ultra because that starts at $4,000. But I got 96 gigabytes of RAM in it and all that stuff. Over here, my monitors are the Yamaha HS8. I love these speakers, they're really excellent. And I helped a friend out, Bobby. I forget the name of his site, the Guitar Something Guy. I'm sorry, Bobby. I wish I remembered. But yeah, so I helped out Bobby with some stuff, and he sold me these speakers for super, super cheap. So thank you for that, Bobby, because when money is scarce and gear is available, musicians always bite. If you're into tech stuff, I do have let's see, this is the Orbi Wi-Fi 6E router system, which is great. I have 2 gigabit fiber optic internet coming here into the studio directly, hardlined, all Ethernet, which is great. So I got that just a few months ago, and uploading a video doesn't take 4 hours anymore. It takes like 10 minutes. So it's pretty awesome uploading at high speed. This is actually my old Make Word Music video camera. This is the Lumix GH4, and I have this really overcomplicated Zoom setup, for Zoom calls, but I use this. This is where I stand for my live streams. You probably recognize the view. And I use that camera, and oh, and you know what? The GH4 was the old camera. This is my S5. I have 2 Lumix S5s. This is a full frame camera, total overkill. This rig just for live streams and whatever is probably, I don't know, $2,000, maybe more. The mic pre's like $400. The camera's like $1,500. The lens, all that stuff, way, way, way overkill. And I still can't figure out how to use it properly. But I have this teleprompter set up here, so when I'm speaking to somebody, I'll turn on this little monitor, and you can see if somebody's head is here, like when I'm doing a live stream interview, they show up on the teleprompter, and then I can look them directly in the eye while talking to them, and I'm looking right into the camera just like that. So this is a really nice setup. I have a USB-C to HDMI cable from my Mac Studio, so it's running this as like a second display. So I can send the Zoom call to that second display, and yeah, blah, blah, blah. Over here, I also have a Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro ISO, the 4-channel HDMI edition. That was kind of a remnant of an older time when I was trying to figure out how to do live streaming and stuff, and I thought I would record more multi-camera live shows. This is the Opal C1 webcam right here. It's a really great webcam. I got it so that I could keep computers. Well, I have this Mac Studio with no camera built into it, and this is a Dell, what is it, Q4025UW, I think is the model number. It is a maybe 40-inch display, 21 by 9. I just got this as part of my whole computer upgrade earlier this year, and man, it's pretty awesome. It's a great screen. I am a little bit of a gamer, but I haven't done any gaming on this thing. Otherwise, it's just productivity and work stuff. I am a technical content writer for a living. I run a company called Edify Content. You can go edifycontent.com and see what I do and get a sense of how I actually make money, because Make Weird Music is awesome, and I'm so glad it's getting more popular and all that stuff. But there's no way I could survive on, anywhere from $200 to $600 a month in YouTube ads. And I don't do sponsors. I haven't gotten any sponsors. I might consider a sponsor, but yeah, it's basically Club Weird mostly pays the bills. So if you want to help support Make Weird Music, you can join Club Weird. It's $3 a month. And I'm very grateful to the people who help pay for that, because it does keep Make Weird Music from losing money. I'm okay with losing money, and I've probably spent tens of thousands of extra dollars keeping the thing running, but my wife isn't so okay with it after 10 years. So I also have this Tascam 16 by 8 audio interface, which is, it's like this whole audio and video setup is just way overcomplicated, but that's how I roll. I overcomplicate things. This thing is, it's called the Stream Deck. It's pretty cool. When I'm doing live streams, I can click these buttons and it changes what you see on the live stream videos. In case you're curious about my lights, a friend of mine, I got him kind of a big 6-figure business deal. So as a thank you, he bought me these very nice Lyra lights. These are I can't remember ICANN is the brand and Lyra is the model. And these are 1x1 LED panels, 5600K lights. So everything, except for the ceiling lights and the lamp in the corner, everything's 5600K lights, so that I can easily set my white balance and make my videos look clean and consistent. This is my documentary rig, and I use this for a majority of my filming. So there's a lot of stuff to cover in here, and I'm gonna flip this camera around from the front facing to the rear. Wait, this one, okay. Oh, that's so much easier than this selfie cam. Okay, so start at the front. This is a cheap, $100 5-inch screen that accepts a 4K input. It has batteries contained in it, which is why I got it. But after traveling to many countries and filming, I had wished I had gotten one with external batteries that you can just hot swap. Oh well. This is another teleprompter, like the one that I use over on my Zoom calls. But I use this, I'll put my iPhone here, I'll just mount it, whoops, I'll put it here in the bottom, and then it projects the text onto the teleprompter, and then I can look into the camera lens and talk, and you see me talking to you. I have this is like the default lens that came with my Lumix S5 here. This is a 20 to 60 millimeter zoom lens. I usually keep it at 20 millimeters. I'm using the standard Lumix microphone preamp here, 2 XLR full-sized inputs, and this is the Lumix S5 full-frame camera. Over here I have the Sennheiser MKE 600 microphone. I have 3 or 4 of these. I only have that many because I thought I lost one. And actually, I can show you on the couch here. The couch is nothing special. In fact, many of you might recognize it because it's just this standard IKEA couch. But I keep all of my stands, mic stands and tripods and stuff like that in here. And somewhere in there was one of those Sennheiser mics that I thought I lost. So I had just packed it in the couch, and that was pretty funny finding it after unnecessarily buying one for $300 on eBay or whatever it was. I'm actually kind of a cheapskate. You might look around and go, wow, this guy spends a lot. I do spend a lot, but every dollar counts. I buy almost everything used or on discount or 0% interest for 12 months or whatever. So yeah, this camera rig, I actually have 2 of them, and I'm still paying them off. Thank you, Club Weird, for helping with that debt. Anyway, this is a really great little battery pack. It's a V-mount plate, and it's got 99 watt hours of power, because you can only take up to 100 watt hours on a plane. So I pack 2 of these in a backpack. I actually can disassemble this whole rig and carry 2 of them in this. I have the backpack in my bedroom, actually. It's called the Everyday Pack by Peak. Man, I can't remember the company. Anyway, it's a really great bag, and I can carry 2 of these big camera rigs, and everything kind of like comes apart with a couple of Allen wrenches. So this is cool because it's got this D-tap connector, which I had never heard of or seen. It looks like that. And this just goes straight into the camera battery compartment down here. So you can see this cable connects and goes into the camera. So this whole rig is powered by this one battery. And so it charges the screen up front and powers the camera and the mic pre and the microphone. So all of that is fed off of here, and it's got 2 USB-A ports on the top, which is pretty cool. Like I said, I have a lot of camera gear. So this is another thing which is pretty cool. It's like a automated camera slider, semi-robotic, and I can pack this in a backpack. I actually did that for the CProg festival, and I foolishly let it fall to the ground. So while it was on a tripod, like 6 or 8 feet in the air, so it fell over, and I had to like disassemble it. It still works, but it's a little bit bumpy. But it's a great unit. This is the iFootage. I think it's called the Rhino slider or something like that. Yeah, that's maybe a little better. This is the old GH4 camera setup. I actually have 2 of these, I believe, that I used for filming all the old Make Weird Music stuff. These cameras are excellent, cheap 4K cameras. They're cheap now. They weren't always cheap. But yeah, I have 2 of them. Here is the other one. And I have just a small number of lenses. I just got this over the summer. This is a really cool lens, 70-300 full frame for the Lumix S5. And then this is an old Micro Four Thirds lens for the Lumix GH4. So yeah, on this, my main camera, I keep the 20-60 millimeter, and then here for the live streams, I keep, this is just the 24 millimeter prime lens. So yeah, I think that covers everything. I did not walk through this little mini vinyl collection. I wouldn't call it a collection. My friend Ryan Reed runs a great podcast on people who collect physical media. I obviously have stuffed a lot of things into this small space. But yeah, I don't have a huge collection. In fact, a lot of this was given to me. My friend Bob sent me this, a lot of like old prog records. In fact, a lot of my Gentle Giant records come from Bob. And then there's stuff that I have purchased, like the Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, or stuff that Leonardo Pavkovich sends to me to listen to try out, that I usually promote on the channel. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, there are a couple of other things. This is a BenQ short throw projector that I use on the projection screen, which I pointed out earlier. But I know some of you guitar nerds might also be interested in my totally cheap, this was donated from my friend Bobby, the Guitar Answer Guy. I believe that's the name of his channel. Anyway, he gave me this crate head and this Marshall cabinet, this little combo cab, 2x12 or 2x10, I don't remember. But I do play through an amp sometimes. And then here on the wall, I have a couple of signed Gentle Giant posters, a lot of commemorative stuff that to celebrate kind of what Make Weird Music has done and accomplished, including Chris Opperman's print of Robert Fripp's post about me playing Fracture and quitting and giving up. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just always trying to find creative ways to use space. So you can see here, I hang my hats up here. Like here's a Rocky Linux hat, or an old company I started called Kensho Education. I use a lot of these plastic containers from Costco. And you know, I've just got gear all over the place. So yeah, that's kind of, oh, this is the MIDI guitar synthesizer unit, the Roland GR system, COSM. I'm not really sure specifically what model it is. Oh, the GR55, if you're curious. Let's see. I think that's everything. I can't imagine anyone wanting to know even this much information. But yeah, this is the studio. Hope you enjoyed this tour. Yeah. And I have to say, if you have the opportunity to end up building your own space, it is so absolutely worth it. I got really lucky. I just was in a 10 by 10 bedroom. Imagine a lot of this gear coming or fitting into a 10 by 10 bedroom. It was so packed. But that was a long time ago, and now I've got this space and I love it. And I got lucky with work. You know, I ended up joining a company that got bought, and then a few months after I started, and largely it covered the costs of this. I would have otherwise just taken out a home loan or something like that. But yeah, it's just provided so much joy for me, and it's a dedicated space is really just wonderful to have. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to build one, or if you're kind of on the fence about building one, definitely do it. You won't regret it. And I guess the only other thing I would mention here is hard drives. I have terabytes upon terabytes of hard disks. There's drives back here. Let's see. Yeah, on this desk alone, I'm gonna guess there's 50 terabytes of hard drives. And that's a lot of data, and I probably have 30 of them full. So, oh, I do have a NAS unit as well back there. All right, I'm just wasting everyone's time now. So 33 minutes of me yapping, walking around the studio. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything else that you want to see. Thanks.